Good morning. I want to make a quick video on here about myself, what I've experienced, what I'm learning in my life, and it's called canceling culture. My culture, my generations, what I was modeled as a child. I got to jump right off and let people know that so they don't think that maybe I'm not addressing myself. So when I come on here, I might bring up things, but it has to do with the story of me. So for me and Pamela, Miss Cool, my nickname since I was 13 again. I like the name. I want to talk about canceling culture. I want to talk about our hearts. I want to talk about like a dirt. See, before we can plant dirt, it probably will do really well to be fertilized, right? So if you're not fertilized, which I wasn't, but you have broke culture. That means my culture and my family, things that I was modeled, things that I learned. I was told about how I behaved as a child. I'm going to talk about. And now I understand that the responsible people were my parents. But since they weren't, it's a wonderful thing that God can take the most messed up people and broken and really pick them up and put them on some higher ground and some solid ground and really back them up when nobody has. Now, I'm not a victim. I'm just telling my story and who he is. Because if I don't confess it and I don't talk about it, then it's like not being grateful for the love, because you can do things in love. So back to like being fertilized, and know that as a young person, I saw things that I actually was reminded of by my older sister. I'm not going to talk about her. I'm going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about the stories that we can't remember, why we model things in our life. Everything can look great and, you can do well, but there are some things that we can't just completely blame on our DNA. We can also cancel culture as far as like if people in your life drank, people in your life took pills, people maybe hit others, they had anger, just the way they were, their attitudes, how they saw different things, and things like that. We can actually cancel it. Being broke, we can break that. We can. I want to call it a curse, because if it wasn't a curse, then why does a family usually have that? Now, these families, they can come out of poverty, they can be wealthy, they can have money, but there's still something there that could possibly be changed, that you need to do, that money can't fix, that just the identity and knowing that it stemmed from something and we have to disrupt. Always when you disrupt, that's when things happen. So you use the example and story of what I just learned and I love, is you picture a bowl, and in the bowl's the cake, the eggs, the flour, the vanilla extract, whatever you're going to make, right, for this cake. So you disrupt it. You disrupt the egg, you disrupt the flour, and what's going on when you're stirring it? You're disrupting it. So when you bake it, you get a cake. So you get to eat that cake. So things must be disrupted before they're, made. And sometimes disruption is wonderful as far as breaking things in families and cultures. Now, my mother smoked. She took pills, but she was a wonderful person. She has all good qualities. Her and my father fought a lot. My sister had told me over the years, Pamela, you have anger. So she didn't tell me exactly how to get rid of it, or what to do about it, but she did say that we had it. Does she have it? Well, she probably has it because she knows that I have it. So this is back to the culture, what we learn, what we're modeled, because when you model something that you've seen and you haven't seen people act in different ways, this is what we end up doing, whether it's yelling, whether it's hitting, whether it's our attitudes towards things, where it's like not having respect, whether it's not even being able to learn. So I'm learning, I'm in school, and I'm sharing. Apparently, I saw a lot of anger. I can talk about the things I can remember, but I can't talk about the things that I don't remember that I'm modeling and I'm breaking. So my father, I guess they were driving down the road in Florida, and on the sides of the roads, or one side of it, was a swamp, okay? And my mother was mouthy, okay? People are mouthy in families. Some people are quiet, but don't think that quiet people don't have anger either. So my mother was mouthing off in an argument with my father. Long story short, me and my sister were sitting in the back seat. Do I remember this? No. Does my sister? Yes. So apparently my father backhanded her because he was driving and she was, they call it shotgun, side thing. He took his hand and I guess hit her in her face hard because she grabbed the wheel, and our children, his children, her children, whatever it was, I wasn't there, God was there. So whether she grabbed the wheel, whether the story was disrupted about what happened, apparently there was a fight and an argument for sure because there was blood on our dresses. So when a nose bleeds, it bleeds heavy. When somebody gets mad and gets angry, they do. And of course, do I believe my mom? Do I believe people that talked about this? I can remember her nose looked funny. I can remember stories that my father was very violent with her. She told me one time he smashed a meringue pie in her face, and she, it wasn't funny. She told me a lot of stories. Apparently it went up in her nose and this and that. But you know what? Coming from her, you have to question. Coming from my father, you have to question. But it isn't obvious if two people say the same thing, then what it becomes is, biblically, it's something that happens to people, and if they don't know each other and they say the same thing, then it's always going to be probably right, if it is right. So apparently when I was younger, I saw violence in this back seat. There was blood. My father broke my mother's nose. These are the things that I don't remember, but I do remember a lot. And a lot of people can hurt one another with verbal. If somebody knows that they, can't hit you or do things like that, we see it all over the internet. This is my story. All over the internet about gaslighting, people's reactions. People can be very good at never hitting you or hurting you physically, but they can be destructive and they can gaslight. If you find yourself falling down to these people and you're not who you really are, or they didn't approach you in kindness, then you're reacting. And if you're reacting too much to people, this is on the job, this is in churches, this is in families. What we want to do is help ourselves be able to identify it first and break curses in families. These curses in families, and then they come from their families, and it's disruptive. But what can we do with the disruptive? We can actually make a cake. We can actually have something beautiful that comes out of it. And that's what I'm doing right now with my life. And so what was modeled, we become. Okay, now if you say you love somebody, okay, because love is very, very good. But if you actually love somebody, it will find you. Love finds you. And to know is that I wrote it down here that love never, if there's a love that never gives, there is something wrong. Something's gone. Like if you say something and you don't give back or share that, then it's probably not love. Okay? And some of the things I wrote down is things about, just God's decided to bless me. I want to be blessed. I want to break this culture that's within me. I want to break a lot of things. First of all, I know that I have, but I don't really know that it's so much that it's just absolutely beautiful. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I've let go of people in my life that are negative. Family members, people that want to guilt you, people that they do have that choice to do that because they don't have coping skills or forgiveness. I broke the culture mainly. This is the big one. I broke the culture on being a Jewish woman. Okay, my brother has continually tried to control others with his Judaism and coming at you in a negative way. I learned that behavior through him. I've spent many days with him when he was violent. when he's jumped out of cars, punched innocent people, when he got back from Vietnam. I can say these things. If my family members are mad, this is the culture I'm breaking right now. That you can actually share. It's something people don't want to talk about. People don't want to talk about the Me Too thing, the molestations. People don't want to talk about it. It's uncomfortable. People will leave. People will run. People don't want to discuss. And to get better, there's something that needs to break. When you break it and it's broken, what falls in? Understanding, love. We don't have to live like that. We can change. You can change. I'm changing. We can change. We don't have to be angry. We can understand. I remember they used to tell this story, and I've about said enough here, of when I was a little girl in Florida. I guess I used to line the kids up on the porch because we did go to a church, and I had a stick. And it's not really funny, but it is, because there's leaders in the world. Some people are leaders, some people are bosses, some people are managers. You just have to kind of know who you are, that their good can come out of me. But I lined the children up on the porch at my grandmother's house in Florida. And we were singing, Jesus loves me, yes I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him they love, they are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. Okay, did you hear that? Jesus loves me. He's the same today, tomorrow, and forever. He's my father. I didn't have one. And what father I did have modeled behaviors that I became. Even the things that I forgot, we have to trace back, that my sister warned me that I was doing. And I love her for that. So, healing and this journey is just really beautiful, because the scriptures say that our latter days, we can flip that our future days will be better than our latter days, meaning that we're equipped now, we're ready for the battle, we're like continually correcting ourselves. So I stood on this porch, not to detour, but just to add a little bit extra icing, which is real icing, because I'm licking it, I'm eating it now. It's sweet to be wrong, to be right. I stood on this porch, and I guess I was like maybe 5, and I had a stick, and I was spanking some kids lined up because they didn't sing Jesus Loves Me loud enough. Okay? I don't have to have shame for that. I was modeling someone, wasn't I? This story was told over and over and over and over and over, and I heard it and heard it and heard it, just like other stories you're going to hear and hear and hear in your life, of maybe your failures, of maybe things that you could have done better. At least we did it. If you live in regret that you never tried something and that you didn't handle it the way maybe you should have, you can always correct it now. Can you go back and correct it? Absolutely not. But can you change it now? Yes, you can. So it's Miss Cool coming on here today, talking about things that were modeled, that you became, things that you don't even remember, but are asking why. Always know, look at your parents, look who raised you, look who influenced you, pick out the good, but always know that we're modeling things that we were modeled and we became. And don't have any guilt about it, but do when you get older and not recognize it, because we do have to be accountable. And we wouldn't want our life to go around driving in a car with like 3 wheels or not having any soil in us. Mine's being fertilized. So in order for me to grow or a plant to grow, it always is going to do better in the fertilization. So, and it takes a lot to be able to do it as well. So I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor, and I'm thriving. And I want to thrive, and I want to change. Surround yourself with people that are going to bring you up, not down. Pray for them. Accept the fact that people don't have skills and coping skills because of pride and self-righteousness, that they don't want to be able to actually step out in that. They'd rather talk from a place of maybe a phone, sending maybe bad messages, which is a bad way to communicate. I've done it. But actually just know who you are and what were you modeled. So now my choice is to be around people that are modeling love to me and respect. People that respect older people. People that know the scriptures. People that are moral. People that have hospitality. People that aren't just faking it. People that actually live it. So it's Miss Cool saying, I have a new family. Are they blood? I hate to say this to everybody. They're not. But you know what? It's made me stronger. The family I do have. Other people have come in. And it's something everybody has to deal with. I would suggest that you do it in love. But there's an exit. So when you hear the word exodus in the Bible, what did that mean? They exit. They leave. And you know what? It's a good day. It's a good day to say it's okay and not react to people's gaslighting, people that, and you do it to yourself. So let's be accountable for that as well. But it's Miss Cool coming on here talking about being disruptive. When you disrupt yourself and things, you change. So let's do that today and be aware of it. And God bless you today. It's Miss Cool saying, peace.